Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to invite Ms. Karen Keller-Sutter, President of the Swiss Confederation, to deliver her address. Madam President.
Well, Mr. President, Ministers, Excellencies, dear colleagues of the Federal Council, ladies and gentlemen, more than 8,000 kilometers lie between Bern and Pretoria. And yet, from the Alpine peaks to the plateau of the Highveld, the distance between Switzerland and South Africa is relative, thanks to the similarities and close relationship between our two countries. And it's therefore no coincidence that we're seeing each other for the fourth time already this year. I had the honor and pleasure of meeting you in January in Davos, in February in your country, in Cape Town, in September in New York, and now it's already the second time you're in Switzerland this year. There was another South African president who happened to visit Switzerland twice in 1 year. It was Nelson Mandela in 1997. Back then, a newspaper reported that during his official visit, Mandela had used his considerable charm to encourage the Swiss business community to further expand its already intensive economic relations with South Africa. I have no doubt that you, too, will succeed in charming our business leaders, and not only them. Mr. President, while Nelson Mandela officially visited Switzerland in 1997, today is the first time that Switzerland is hosting a South African president for a state visit. And this state visit is particularly important. It symbolizes the long-standing partnership between Switzerland and South Africa, matured through decades of dialogue, cooperation, and mutual respect. History teaches us that there have been also dark times in the relationship between our two countries. I'm therefore very pleased that today our relationship reflects the spirit of two countries which, though located on different continents, share varied and vibrant bilateral relations. Let me briefly mention several domains where our cooperation is particularly intense. First, trade, then mediation and also democracy, and also science and culture. In trade, South Africa is a prime trading partner on the African continent. Our countries exchange more than $4 billion worth of goods. More than 100 Swiss companies are active in South Africa, creating more than 50,000 jobs. South Africa is the first destination for Swiss foreign direct investment in Africa. In addition, South Africa is a priority country for Swiss economic cooperation. Our countries can count on a broad set of agreements to facilitate trade and investment. And in view of current global developments, it is worth noting that already in 1997, Switzerland exempted most South African industrial goods and certain agricultural products from import duties. I'm confident that this state visit will also help jumpstart the ongoing discussions to modernize our free trade agreement. And I am particularly happy that during today's state visit, our economic ministers will sign 2 memorandums of understanding with the aim of further intensifying our economic cooperation. Our relationship does not limit itself to trade. Our ministries of foreign affairs work together closely on a number of projects and activities, bilaterally as well as in international fora. Both Switzerland and South Africa are multicultural states with several national languages and cultures coexisting. This has taught us the importance of the culture of compromise and the acceptance of diverging opinions. Both our countries have coalition governments, so we now know firsthand how important the art of compromise can be. Not always easy, I might add, but important indeed. This is true also at the international level in the current geopolitical context, marked by a rising tendency to resort to political hatred, polarization, and even armed violence and war. To deal with differences, it is all the more important to promote and defend mediation and democracy, to help prevent and resolve conflicts. South Africa, with its history and experience of overcoming apartheid, is best placed to understand the importance of mediation and to support other countries in their search for peaceful conflict resolution. This is why I'm very glad that our Ministers of Foreign Affairs will sign a declaration of intent today to strengthen cooperation in mediation and promoting democracy. Our countries have the background, the experience, and now the institutional framework to work together internationally to jointly promote peace-building efforts. I also want to mention our collaboration in the areas of science and culture. Since 2022, our countries have worked together on the Square Kilometre Array Observatory, a globally significant project aiming to build the largest radio telescope ever constructed. This project illustrates what is possible through knowledge and scientific cooperation, bringing nations and people together and opening perspectives for the future. The same is true for cultural diplomacy. The fourth Memorandum of Understanding we will sign today aims to further increase cooperation in cultural diplomacy and cultural cooperation between our two countries. And the fifth document to be signed is dedicated to cooperation in the field of vocational training. Mr. President, your presence in Bern today constitutes a historic moment. As I said, it is the first time that Switzerland is hosting a South African president for a state visit, and it was truly long overdue. It is an important symbolic step in our bilateral relations. Additionally, the 5 agreements being signed today in trade, vocational training, diplomacy, and culture testify to our clear willingness to intensify our bilateral cooperation. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for your presence here today. We're proud to host you. It is a real privilege, and also a warm welcome to your delegation. That is very important and shows also that Switzerland seems to be a bit important to you. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor to invite His Excellency President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa, to deliver his address. Mr. President.
Thank you, Program Director. Your Excellency, Madam Karin Keller-Sutter, the President of the Swiss Confederation, honorable members and members of the Federal Assembly, ministers and deputy ministers, and government officials who are here present, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to speak here at this esteemed Parliament of the Swiss Confederation. And this shows, dear Karin, that Switzerland is very important to South Africa. Yours is a country that is admired around the world for many attributes. Key amongst them is democracy, prosperity, and the commitment to peace. On behalf of the people and the government of the Republic of South Africa, I am delighted to convey our nation's greetings to you, but also to express our deep appreciation for the kind invitation and the warm welcome that you have extended to us. Yesterday in Neuchâtel, sacred artifacts of the Nkuna royal family began their journey home after more than a century. More than pieces in a museum, these objects in many ways carry the memory of generations and the identity of a people. This act of repatriation speaks to who we are, both Switzerland and South Africa. It speaks to our shared belief that dialogue can heal what conflict has broken, and that the dignity of every human being transcends borders and time. South Africa remembers the Swiss citizens, an organization that stood with us during our darkest hours under apartheid. This solidarity planted the seeds of friendship and cooperation between our two peoples. South Africa and Switzerland are nations that believe in a just and peaceful world order. We believe in the founding principles of the United Nations Charter. We support joint solutions to common problems. We value multilateralism and the fair and consistent application of international law. We believe that peace is not merely the silence after the guns have stopped. Peace is about justice and development. It is about communities flourishing and economies growing. South Africa supports Switzerland's efforts to promote peace through mediation and diplomacy. This is a culture that Switzerland has developed over the years. We welcome your active role in conflict prevention and humanitarian relief around the world, which we have seen in active practice and have admired deeply. Just as we share a desire to work together to build a better world, so too do we seek a partnership between Switzerland and South Africa to realize the potential of our people. Switzerland is one of South Africa's main trading partners and a leading source of foreign direct investment. Swiss investors are creating many opportunities in South Africa, transferring knowledge, but also driving transformation, from finance to renewable energy, from pharmaceuticals to advanced manufacturing. South Africa's renewable resources, combined with Swiss expertise in clean technology and sustainable finance, can lead the way to a future that is green, just, and inclusive. Our commitment to infrastructure, to industrialization, and to digital innovation opens vast horizons for partnership. And together we can promote and we can prove that economic growth and environmental stewardship are not adversaries but are allies. And together we can drive transformation in a country that is in great need of transformation, a country that also needs empowerment. Our vision embraces women taking their rightful place in the economy. It also embraces making sure that young people ignite technology and innovation and are able to form and build small enterprises growing into mighty engines of prosperity. We see education, research, and skills development as investments in human potential. This is an area that Switzerland has excelled immensely. This is what we have also come here to learn. Our universities and research institutions should be bridges between our peoples. As South Africa and Switzerland, we must strengthen our cooperation in the international fora, ensuring that the voices calling for peace drown out the drums of war. We must deepen our economic ties, transforming investment into changed lives and strengthened communities. The challenges facing our world are formidable, from war and conflict to inequality to climate change, but we have shown that working together, we have the determination and the means to overcome these challenges. The agreements that we are going to sign today testify to our determination to work together, to build a partnership that will endure, and to strengthen the bonds that we have between our two peoples, but also the economic and cultural bonds that we have. This visit marks what I would call a beginning to the next chapter of our relationship. This will be a chapter defined by lives that are transformed, thriving partnerships, and a world that will benefit all our people. A world that will be more peaceful and more sustainable. So thank you for your friendship, Karin. You correctly say that we have met 4 times this year. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting any head of state so many times in such a short space of time. And you say that I will be able to charm businesses to come and invest in South Africa. Well, let me tell you that you have charmed me to come to Switzerland. So here I am. I'm happy to have been charmed by you. Thank you very much.